When we were growing up, you couldn't even hold such a conversation with your own parent. How? Just how now?
Yeah.
If I went to report to my mom that Uncle so-and-so was trying to touch me,
Yes.
I will be beaten.
Yes.
My mom may even accuse me.
Trying to defame your uncle.
Or when they uniketi vibaya.
Yeah, welcome to Child of Mine and on to our first episode, and our first topic of discussion today is how to prepare to be a parent in terms of dealing with your past issues before you become a parent. To help us dissect that is our beautiful guest here, Tabitha Mukaya, who will tell us a little more about her. Thank you so much, Tabitha, for making it here. And welcome.
Thank you, Elsie. Hello there. My name is Tabitha Mukaya, as you have heard. I'm also called Warugoro. I'm married to Julius Mukaya, and between us we have 3 children, 2 girls who are already young adults, and a young man who is 17. And we serve together with my husband in our local church in a ministry called Family Care and Enrichment Ministry, whereby we support the couples in the church and families in general. And for young couples who are preparing to get married, we conduct premarital lessons. And one of the areas parenting, because we want to prepare young people to be good parents, to be able to have an easy time while parenting their children, and of course prepare them in many other areas. We also support parents. We do parenting classes, and we also support couples through their marriages. And I must say that I am very passionate with parenting, because as a parent of young adults, I have had my own misses, issues that I wished that I knew before I became a parent. But I still thank God that the children have grown and turned out well. So I'm also a mental health practitioner. I work in the public sector as a mental health champion. And one of the areas that I really is very close to my heart is about parenting, because I believe that if we can be able to support parents and especially prepare before they become parents, then we shall have parents who are able to raise their own children in a way that will ensure that their children turn out well, and we have a healthy society. Yes.
Wow. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Elsie.
It's a privilege to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Whatever you are doing in the ministry is impacting lives. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Tabitha, if I may ask, what is parenting?
Parenting. This is a very interesting topic, and as I was pondering about this, I thought of just maybe trying to define who a parent is. And so I came up with an acronym, PARENTS.
Wow.
And parents, P stands for prepared, and A is adequately, so prepared adequately to raise, to educate, to nurture, to teach, and to support children. So by parenting, all these things will count in parenting. Yes, if you can be able to support your children in their endeavors, to raise children who will become adults who are responsible, they can take care of themselves, to nurture your children so that they can become adults who are confident and they are able to navigate life on their own. And you can also be able to teach them by equipping them with the values of your family. What is it that you want your children to pick from you? Because every family has its own values and tenets that they want to live out by. And also, by nurturing them, you support them in a world that is so troublesome, and especially now that we are living in a world that is very, very turbulent. We know the times that we are growing in, the challenges that children have to contend with, drugs and many other challenges that we all know, including even issues LGBTQ. Issues that we were not grappling with before, but they are now with us. So if we can be able to support our children, to nurture them, to ensure that they live in an environment that is healthy and that supports their growth, then we will have said that parenting has taken place.
Yeah, and from your definition, it sounds to me that parenting, you cannot do it from an empty point. You have to be equipped so that you can be able to equip a child. Like, you have to have had some nurture as well. Like, you can't pour from an empty vessel, right?
Yeah. Right.
And that's where preparation comes in, eh?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. So if I can say something about preparing, is that we cannot underestimate the idea of preparing for parenting, because parenting is a very heavy responsibility that should not be taken lightly. One does not just wake up and decide that they want to become a parent. You must prepare and prepare the same way that we see parents prepare for, before a baby comes. I have seen parents do baby showers, preparing the room. If it's a boy, you paint the room in color blue. If it's a girl, color pink, and you buy clothes that are gender specific, and you do so many other things, including even maybe moving to a bigger space. The only thing that maybe we fail to do is to prepare for the journey, because parenting is almost like a lifetime journey. It's a long journey and it requires intentionality. And so we cannot really just start this journey without any kind of preparation.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, yes.
Because I can imagine even as an adult,
yes,
you still consult your parents.
absolutely, yes.
Yeah, so it's a lifelong journey that requires preparation.
Yes.
So, how do we develop parenting styles?
Right. About parenting styles, I know we talk in psychology, we normally talk about 4 parenting styles. And this is authoritarian, these parents who are very almost like dictatorial. And then there is also authoritative, which they actually say is the best, because you set the rules as a parent, or you set the limits, and you also are able to support the child. And when mistakes are made, you're not quick to punish your child. And then the other 2 styles is permissive. Permissive parenting is the worst, because we come up with terrible people who are very self-centered, people who are almost out of control. And then there is also uninvolved parenting. Parents who, for them in that family, if you have an uninvolved parent, it is anything goes. So having said that, because by the time we are starting parenting, we are not even probably aware of these parenting styles. I know out of my own experience that I was not equipped in any way. And we normally say that children do not come with a manual. And there is no manual for parenting. That if you do this, children will turn out well. Sometimes parents have done their best. And we have seen, and especially like me, a mother of young adults, having raised children, in a way that I thought that it was the best. They still will make some mistakes, and you wonder, where did I go wrong?
You're human.
So Yeah, but out of my own experience, normally parents tend to parent their children from the noon. So I used to do it when my children were young. I used to do it sometimes, and especially when it came to disciplining, the same way that my own parents did it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like for me, my own mother was a authoritarian parent. Yes, and very, very tough.
You do this
You
because I said so.
Yes, and then punishment was automatic, and for me it was corporal punishment. And so I would say that when my children were younger, I also did that. I used the stick a lot. I have used a mwiko.
Yes, mwiko.
Yes, until it broke. I have used slippers,
Ugali now.
pinching. Yeah, and sometimes for mistakes, even punishing for mistakes that are not even intentional mistakes. Until along the way, I kept learning. Sometimes through reading books, sometimes through attending some parenting seminars. And I am glad for this generation, Elsie, for your generation now, there is a lot of content, a lot of material. Like this podcast we're doing right now should be able to support a parent. And if you check throughout the internet, parenting, information on parenting is plentiful.
Yeah.
So parents can actually build on the skills that they already have.
Yeah.
But parenting is developed, and sometimes it's try and error. You try this, it fails, you try the other, and you just keep hoping that your children will turn out well. And sometimes you also have a conviction that what I am doing is not right, and you take an about turn. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, but I would encourage any parent who is watching this to adopt authoritative parenting style, where you set the limits. The children know that this is what I'm expected to do, and you can even agree that if this is not done, then this will be the punishment. And when you punish, do not inflict pain. The aim should not be to inflict pain, but to correct. So discipline should be corrective and not pain inflicting. Yes.
So in other words, you don't do it in anger.
No.
Frustration.
If you are frustrated or if you are angry for any reason, please just retreat and then come back and try to reason out with the child. Just as the Bible says, come, let's reason together. Because children are also, they're tiny little things. Their hands are fragile. Their brain is still developing. So some of the mistakes they even make are not really intentional.
Yeah.
But where you have already set the limits, and that is why as a parent you need to be very intentional on setting limits and be consistent. Otherwise, if there is no consistent, if the child does not know what is expected of them, then they will just be making these mistakes. And if you're this parent who is really, especially a perfectionist parent, you want perfection. If you do this, wewe nitakuchuna. And the first thing for you to do is to run and pinch the child. Yes, and I think we have just talked about disciplining, but there are many other issues on parenting, like especially like comforting your child, because children also go through sometimes issues. Sometimes a child will come crying because they are upset. Sometimes they will even be made sad by a child, maybe mean exactly. Be able to get into their inner emotions and understand exactly what they are going through and support them. Yes, so parenting is a whole, a whole like circle where you do so many things just to ensure that your child turns out well.
Yeah.
Yes.
As you are saying that, you just reminded me, a few days ago, my 6-year-old came and she was very sad
Wow.
that her friend said tomorrow they will not play with
Yeah.
her.
Yes.
And to her that was so huge, and I was like, if they say they can't, why can't you just do it alone?
Did you say that?
No.
Okay. All
I
right.
kept that to my heart.
All right.
So, how do we develop parenting? Not about parenting styles. How do unhealed issues come to fore
Okay.
during our parenting? And what can those issues be?
All right. That's a very important issue to discuss, Elsie. And this applies to everyone, not just anybody who is becoming a parent. But for parents, it is very important to understand that our past traumatic issues that have not been processed or resolved, any issues, and when I talk of traumatic issues, it is anything that happened when you were a child, as a child, that affected you emotionally. And you know, when things happen and we don't deal with them, we don't process them, they go to our subconscious mind, unconscious mind. So it is only when sometimes they get triggered, we get triggered by something that we remember, oh, I suffered in this particular way. And sometimes we may react in fear. And I want to give an example. But just before I give the example, I want to speak about some of the issues that may cause us trauma as children. And one of the things that really affects children growing up is abuse. And abuse can be any form of abuse. It can be physical abuse, the corporal punishment that we inflict on children can affect them adversely and give them trauma.
So this can be both at home and maybe at school?
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad that corporal punishment was abolished in schools. Because growing up, I experienced enough of that. Yes. And Elsie, I know people who say that corporal punishment did not do me any good. Yes. So, physical abuse. Then there is also verbal abuse, the unkind and heavy words that we use on children. You know that you're good for nothing. And the child is taking it in. They're internalizing. And every time they are about to do something, they remember, I was told I'm good for nothing. Yes, so rather than verbally abuse your child, affirm them, encourage them, support them, whichever way that you can support them, Elsie, as a young mother. And I'm glad I'm speaking to a young mother and the many other young mothers who will be listening to this. And also there is sexual abuse. Sometimes children are abused. And many a times by the very relatives, our own relatives, your brother Elsie can abuse your son or your daughter. Sons are sodomized by their uncles. Yes, houseboys and even neighbors. Yes, so and a lot of those things, you know, when they happen, because children normally do not know how to react or to go about it. And they are most often they are threatened that if you say, I'm going to kill you. Yes, so they will not speak about it. It is only when they are adults that they have a lot of fears because they suffered trauma, because the traumatic event or the circumstance or the experience was not dealt with. And there are many other issues like dysfunctionalities in families where there is always violence. You and hubby are quarreling the whole night and the children are hearing or fighting. You know, that will have an impact on the child. Yes, and then many other things, maybe losing a parent, maybe being involved in an accident, a terrible accident, will leave a lasting impact on the child. So we need to process all these experiences, so that by the time we are becoming parents ourselves, we don't have any issues. But this requires a lot of awareness. you need to go back before you get married. I normally encourage young couples in the premarital classes that we normally conduct in our church, or any other couple who is intending to get married, and they come to me, and I encourage them to dig into their family background, and also dig into your life, delve deep into your life, and see if there are any issues that you may want, that may have caused you trauma, that you may need to deal with. Because if you don't resolve, they will always be coming to interfere. They will not only interfere with your parenting, but if you become somebody's wife, they will also interfere with the kind of a wife or a husband, that you're going to be. Yes.
Wow. Just to divert a little bit, how can parents sensitize their children that not the way when a child is abused, and then they are told, if you say this will happen, how can you bring a child to overcome that?
Good question, Elsie. I like that we live in an age of openness, and also an age of information. When we were growing up, you couldn't even hold such a conversation with your own parent. How now?
Yeah.
If I went to report to my mom that Uncle so and so was trying to touch me, I will be beaten.
Yes.
My mom may even accuse me.
Trying to defame your uncle.
Or ndio uliketi vibaya. Or you know how people have gone even to the police station to report about even rape. And they're told it's because look at the way you're dressed. Exactly. Yes, but for children, Elsie, you have young children, and for all the parents with young children, start having a conversation with them as early as when they are babies, and you're bathing them and they can understand, and tell them, don't allow anybody to touch their private parts. Yes, don't allow anybody to touch your private parts. And then if you feel threatened, if someone is threatening to attack you, or they call you, come, I give you a sweet. Because people who abuse children, they usually lure them with sweets. I don't know. They know children love candy. Yes. I know one who was lured with a banana. Anything that will appeal to children. So tell your children, if someone calls you, just scream and run. Scream and run. Do not just scream and stand there, but scream and run. But again, if you are cornered somewhere, tell your children, because sometimes they may just be cornered in a place. Speak up. Do not fear. Come and speak to me. I will be here. If you should feel threatened in any way by anybody in any way. Yes. Let's create space and awareness. Let's build a lot of awareness to children, parents of young children, both boys and girls. Raise awareness. Let their children know that their bodies are sacred. The bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. For Christian parents, when you're bathing, you can sing a song, my body is the temple of the Holy Spirit, so nobody should abuse my body, because the Holy Spirit of God will not be happy. Yes,
you've talked about the issues. So how does an individual heal from them? What steps do they take? From where do they begin to heal from this?
Thank you, Elsie. It's very important, like I have said, to heal from trauma or childhood issues. And one of the ways is being aware, because you cannot heal from what you do not know. So just knowing that if you know that there is something that you suffered, and you are aware of it, and you are aware of the details, then you desire to come out of it. And we have counselors now. Go to therapy, speak out to someone, seek someone, a trusted counselor, someone you can speak to, who will help you to process the negative effects or the negative impact of that occurrence, if it is, for example, sexual abuse, if it is physical abuse, anything that left you scarred. And also, just apart from therapy, but a lot of your therapist should be able to prescribe some of the ways that you can be able to now deal with those issues, like journaling. You have a book where you are recording how you feel, your thoughts, and just monitoring how your thoughts are affecting you, and your emotions, how they are affecting you. Because the more you process it, the more you bring it out, the more you unpack it, the more you heal. But if you keep it to yourself, it will oppress you, and then it will deter you from leading a healthy life. And then you cannot be able to maintain even relationships, not with your own family, not with your own children if you become a parent, not with your own spouse if you become a wife. And you will also have challenges even at your workplace, because you have not dealt with those issues. But the first step is awareness. Gain awareness, and then I'll begin to do the work. Begin to do the work. And one of the effective ways I have said is seeking therapy. Go and speak to someone and bring it out completely, unpack it completely. Yes.
So awareness, also acceptance. It's acceptance, awareness. They go
So
hand in hand.
awareness is knowing that there is this problem, and it is impacting me in this negative way. And then acknowledging that you need help. And then now when you go to seek help, then you will be helped, first of all, to be in acceptance, and to now deal with all the negative emotions that have resulted because of that occurrence. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's said that most people instantly turn to their childhood situation or experience whenever they are faced with a scenario almost similar to that. How can this, as a parent, what can you do, or how can you do it so that it doesn't negatively affect how you parent your child, or negatively impact your relationship with your child?
Okay. Again, if you became a parent before you processed or you dealt with any issues that you suffered as a child yourself, that is when you realize that every time, even as a parent, you are faced with a situation, you tend to, it takes you back to your own childhood. And that is why I have said that you need to overcome every issue, every challenge, every circumstance that may come and compromise your ability to parent your children from a place of safety, from a place of freedom, rather than every time even your child does something and it takes you back to your own childhood, and you just see yourself in that child. Yes, so important to deal with, and that is why we have said we need to deal with our traumas. Yes.
Okay.
Are you?
Am I?
Do you feel that we have tackled that effectively?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
We have.
Okay.
First of all, you have to accept that you have an issue
Yes.
that you need to deal with.
Absolutely, yes.
And seek ways to help yourself so that you can become a better parent.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how does a person who grew up with absentee parents, how will that impact their parenting?
Okay. So Elsie, I normally say that everyone calls themselves a parent.
Yes.
But you cannot be a parent if you cannot do the things that we said. If you have not prepared adequately, if you are not present to raise that child. Because if you are absent, you're absent. And parenting must be done by someone who is present.
So the parenting clock does not stop because the parent is not around.
Yes, it doesn't stop. You will still be parented. Society will just take care of you. Your grandparents may take care of you. But then that child will miss out on the benefit of being raised by their own parent.
Yeah.
And you know, when parents are raising their own children, a lot of positive things happen. For example, when a child is born, before even a child is born, when the mother is pregnant,
Yeah.
attachment is happening, mother to the unborn child. You know, and when the baby is born and the mother is there breastfeeding the child, attachment is still happening. The child is looking at the mother and you know, they're becoming secure. They're looking at this beautiful lady who is feeding them and taking care of them, and they learn to depend. And trust is built.
Yeah.
So they depend on you, they know you are reliable, they know you are safe, you are a safe space for them. So if you are an absentee parent, for example, unfortunately some mothers die during childbirth.
Yes.
This child will still grow
Yeah.
because they will be raised by, say, maybe a stepmother or anybody else. This could be the sister of the mother or anybody else. But it may affect them in very many other ways. Because sometimes proper attachment may not happen.
Yeah.
So this person who missed out on their parents being available to nurture them,
Yes.
to support them. Although we have some parents, some foster parents who are very supportive and some who are very nurturing.
Yeah.
And it's true, parenting will happen.
Yes.
But again, we are saying that any child who misses on the parents, and we hear of a father who is away, working away, say in a different city or in a different country, and they miss out on forming attachments with their own children. And so when they grow up as teenagers, they may not even be able to form relationships with their own children, their own parents, this parent who was absent. So it's very important for every parent here to ensure that they are present throughout their children's lives as much as possible.
Yes.
As much as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
So, I'm just thinking, how can you quantify your time as a parent, and then we conclude that you are an absent parent, because you could be around with your child, sorry, but you're not really there. You could also be far physically, but you can be felt. That makes sense.
Okay, so we say the parent must be present. To parent, you must be present, because you cannot be able to support your child while you are away. You cannot be able to teach and to instill the values and the morals that you want in your child while you are away.
You can't hug when you are away.
You cannot hug while you are away, Elsie. And so that's why we are saying a parent must be present. In fact, we can change that P even to speak of presence. And it's not just physical presence. I have had some, especially fathers, say, but I'm always home. I leave work and I go home. But what does this father do when he gets home? He switches on the TV or he's reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
But again, in this generation, in the present time, it is the mobile phone. You have seen those memes where a family is seated around a table but everyone is busy. The mother, the father, the children are busy on their mobile phones, isn't it?
Some even communicate on phones and they are there sitting on the same table.
Yes. So is that parent present in the actual sense of being present, Elsie? No, they are not present. So when you're present, you are intentional. That is the time that you speak with your child, you hug your child, you especially you parents of CBC, you do homework with your child, okay, and you train them and you do everything that someone who is present should do. Switch off your phone. Yes, switch off your phone, Elsie. Switch off the TV. And put away the newspaper. Read the newspaper in the office or elsewhere. But when you come home, you are present. You're present and your presence can be felt. Yes, yes.
So even putting on that TV and putting some music, dancing together with your child.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah,
see.
yes,
I see.
yes.
So for someone who was raised by a helicopter parent,
Wow.
how is that? How will that affect how they parent their children?
A helicopter parent. I'm thinking of a helicopter. It hovers in the sky. But a helicopter parent is a parent who is very domineering, a parent who is very controlling. They will not give their children space to be themselves. They will not give room for growth.
Yeah.
They do not give freedom. They do not allow for autonomy. So these parents, some of these helicopter parents will go to the extent of even completing homework for their children because they don't want their children to make mistakes. Or you are wasting time and they want to do. So a helicopter parent denies their children an opportunity to explore, to make mistakes, to grow through mistakes, to explore the world on their own. They control even who your friend is. I do not want to see you with that boy.
Yeah.
That boy is bad. And you don't even tell your child, your 5-year-old or your 4-year-old child, why that boy is bad. You control. You control even how it say in an estate setup where children play. Don't play with that child. Don't they want to control every aspect of their child, what sports to be involved in, the kind of clothes to wear. And it is good. I'm not saying it is bad to guide our children, but let's not domineer and dictate. And for this helicopter parent, it is my way or the highway.
Yeah.
Yes, so any parent, a parent who has been raised by a helicopter parent may also have challenges parenting their own child because they missed a lot on while growing up on developing independence. They are not very independent. So they also may turn out to be helicopter parents unless again one becomes aware. And that's why we are saying learn and learn and learn and relearn.
Yes.
So that and let's make it a learning process. Yes. So that we are constantly gaining skills and insights and knowledge on how to raise our children well. And awareness, I said awareness is how was I even raised myself. Yes. So that how to best raise your own children.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Thank you for that. Teenager, a teen who's just had a child, how can they be supported apart from the basic support they will get from the family, maybe to take care of her until she delivers. But then there are so many issues they are dealing with as a teen and maybe their past.
Okay.
And here now they are going to become a parent. How can they be helped so that they also become better parents?
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a loaded question, Elsie. Because first of all, when you even think of a teenager is still grappling with teenage issues. And teenagers grapple with too many issues growing up. They are just developing, they are beginning to understand their bodies. The hormonal changes that are happening are also causing them to be confused, and they are also not even confident in their own bodies. And just when all this is happening, a child a teenage is pregnant, and they have not, because actually young people mature at the age of 25. That is when the brain matures.
Okay.
So you can imagine that this is a child, assuming someone is 18 years, even 19, 20, even 21. Before 25 is actually teenage. So this person who is still expecting to be cared for by their own parent, has become a parent, where do they even start? And unfortunately, in many cases, they are not even supported by their own relatives.
True.
In fact, in many instances, many of the teenagers that I know, they have faced backlash. The parents end up being very harsh
After they became pregnant.
after they become pregnant, and some of them have even been chased away from home. So, as society, as mental health workers like myself, as someone who is very passionate about parenting, Elsie, like you, and the many other people who are watching us, it is let us reach out to any teenage parent and support them. Support them the best way that we can. Let us, first of all, even help them to become comfortable, to affirm them, to reassure them, to comfort them, and to encourage them. Finally, now when they become parents, how is even a teenager supposed to breastfeed a baby? Someone who was still being supported by their parent. And most of the time they drop out of school, unfortunately. So they need our support. They need to be taken through counseling. They needed to be supported even to go back to school, so that their dreams are not cut short. And they also need to be helped to be able to relate with their peers, because they are not yet adults. They are not yet adults. Yes, and also let's discourage them from getting married, because they are not ready for marital responsibility.
Or like this, some people encourage a teenager to get married.
Yes. We call the young man who is responsible. Yes, we have them run away to go and get married. Yes.
True. Oh, they need to be discouraged, because they become an adult at 25, as you said.
They become an adult, a fully grown adult, matured adult at 25 years.
Okay.
Yeah. That is when the brain is fully developed. Yes. To become even a parent.
Okay.
And Elsie, this is what I want to say. I myself became a parent at 23 years.
Before you became
before I became an adult. And I can tell you it was difficult. The baby is crying and I also want to cry. And I wonder, so what do I do? And unfortunately, I did not have a good support system, because I was living in this big city and my parents are far away. And I did not even have many friends, because you can also get support from your own friends. So let people mature. Let people mature. If you're planning to be a parent, make sure that you are ready for it. You're well prepared for it. Yes.
I can imagine me in my late 20s having a baby. Sometimes they cry, and I cried, and I was mature.
Really?
Yes, I was an adult and I cried. How about a teen or a 21, 22, 3-year-old?
It's tough. It's really tough. They need support. Young mothers need a lot of support. And if a young mother is watching us and you're feeling overwhelmed, seek support from a mature fellow mother, from your family. Seek support so that you can be able to support your child as well. Yes, because a child being raised by another child, I can assure you, Elsie, that they will not grow up very well. They will have missed out on a lot of things, because then this child is not developed emotionally, and they are already there's a lot of turbulence around them. So how will they be able to support their own child emotionally? How you tell me?
Where there's instability, you just pass on another instability.
Yes.
Wow. So what do you wish you knew before you became a parent that you know now?
Wow. If the clock will turn back, this is the time I'm getting my children. There are so many things I would do differently. But one of the things I wished I knew is healing from your past trauma, overcoming all your traumatic issues. If you are hurt by your own parents, if you are hurt by your own relatives, or by any circumstances around you, you overcome that so that you can become a healthy adult who is ready for parenthood.
Yeah.
Number two is that if I knew what I know today, I would not have become a parent at 23 years. I am proud of my own children right now.
Yes.
That girl that I bore at 23 years is a very responsible young adult.
Wow.
She's working,
Wow.
and a young lady who we are very close. So it was all was not lost, but I wish I did it when I was ready, both in terms of age and also just aware of what is happening and what I'm getting myself into. Yes. Something else is researching. I would have researched on parenting, but unfortunately during my time, I told you information was very scanty. Yes, information was very scanty. We did not have the internet. We did not have what even
probably some people, not many people owned phones.
Not these phones. I owned my. I got my first mobile phone in the year 2000, 2002. 2002. Yes, because it was very even expensive. In fact, getting that mobile phone was such a huge achievement. And then internet was also very expensive. It's not like now your child will tell you, Mom, hotspot me, Dad, hotspot me. It's called hotspotting, Yes, so I wish, and even books. Right now, a lot of people have written books, and then we have a lot of awareness, mental health campaigns targeting even parents. But again, we have seen a lot of mental health challenges coming up, and that is why there are many campaigns. Yes, and a lot of efforts to ensure that people turn out well and parents also turn out well. So I wish I was able to research through, or maybe even ask some older parents. Yes. Still there was information if I wanted it. Yes.
Or if you knew that there's some information you need to have.
Yes. And something else is maybe that if I knew that corporal punishment inflicts pain, and can end up even damaging my own child, I will not have started with that initially from the word go. Yes, I would have parented my children differently. I would have disciplined my own children differently. Yes.
So that corporal punishment, did it come from how you are being punished, or some of the issues you are dealing with?
Okay. I must say that how I was parented or punished, and also I was dealing with a lot of issues. I had a lot of anger. I didn't have a very good relationship with my own mom from my teenage years, so I had a lot of anger. Yes, and I would say that it's important for mothers to have a very positive and close relationship with your daughters. Yes, because if you are estranged from your daughters, then they do not know whom to go to or where to go to. Yes. So
what about those who are close to their fathers?
It is still okay, but the mother has a role and the father has his role. Yes, because I was close to my father, but I still yearned for my mom's love, for her support, for her affirmation. And mothers are nurturing. Mothers are the ones who determine. Have you ever known that mothers are the ones who determine the mood of the house? Yes. Kama mama ajafurahi, the whole house is really.
God is cautious. Can you approach her?
Exactly. Yeah. So, if although I do not blame my mother, I do not blame my own mother
Yeah.
because she was just also parenting me the best way that she knew how. Yes, so I do not blame her. But even though I don't blame her, she still had a responsibility. So whether you know or you don't, Elsie, you still have a responsibility towards your children to raise them well, so that you don't leave them maybe bitter, scared, and exposed. Yes. Yes, and I believe that is the reason that I got married early. Yes. Probably if I was very close to my mother, then there would have been no reason for me to rush into marriage.
Time, huh?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So as a mother, I nurture my relationship with my girls.
Absolutely, you have no choice, Elsie. Yes.
Any parting shots?
Any parting shots?
A parent, someone who's a parent already.
Yes.
And to someone who is not yet a parent.
All right, thank you. So for anybody who is not yet a parent, I want to speak to you and to encourage you to do a thorough examination of your own life, of your own background, your own past, and speak to yourself, have a conversation with yourself and ask yourself, am I really ready to parent another human being? Because we cannot afford to damage a human being. Every child is a very independent creature, God's creature, and God has an agenda for every single person that is born. And so that is why I would encourage every aspiring parent to prepare adequately, to equip themselves in every possible way that they can. Yes, spiritually,
physically,
absolutely, yes. Mentally,
part of that.
Yes. And also
psychologically go together.
No. Mentally is intellectual. Yes.
Okay.
Make sure that you have a good understanding of things. You are open-minded. Yes, and emotionally overcome anything that may interfere with you. If you have any negative emotions, anger, resentment, bitterness, just deal with all those issues. Otherwise, they will be compromising the way that you parent your own children, because your emotions will determine the kind of environment that you create for your family. Yes. And the mood that you set in that home. Yes. And for the parent, if you're already a parent, and you have been wondering, am I even doing it right? How do I become a better parent? I encourage you to seek information, keep following Elsie for more content on parenting, read books, attend parenting seminars, and where you feel that you're not doing it right, don't be shy to turn away from it. So I encourage us to keep learning, relearning, and unlearning, just so that we can ensure that we are better parents. Yes, because ultimately at the end of the day, we are raising God's people, and we shall give an account, because a parent is just but a steward. That child is only yours by birth, but they belong to God. And when we all get to heaven, we shall give an account to God on what we did with this child that God gave to us.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, thank you so much. We know that, and we've heard that one day we'll give an account.
Yes.
Of what you did to that child, to those children that God has given you. And that is why you need to parent when you're ready. You need to prepare emotionally, physically, spiritually, all those aspects. Thank you so much for watching. So I have something for us here. This one, it's a booklet. You can call it a booklet. It's written, "Dear child of mine." It's 30 days of empowering affirmations. So this one is a book to encourage, to heal, to uplift, it's a book to just push you on to do the right thing. It's a book to lead you to God's word. It's a book, it's a 30 days of affirmations. So let me just go to day one. Let me just go to day one. It says that I am a blessing. I'm a blessing to my parents and to the world. I bring happiness and positive change. And then down there's a verse from the Bible. So this one is to affirm you and your child. It was written specifically for children, but later on I discovered even adults can be consumers of this. So it's important as a parent to affirm your child, encourage your child, and also backing it up with God's word. Because children and everybody, even adults, thrive on affirmations. So grab a copy of this 30 days of affirmations, and I hope it will be a blessing to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next time and very soon. Bye bye.